If you already have trouble getting out of bed in the morning, Fret-tay linen is probably not going to help. Known for its exquisite feel and fine workmanship, Fret-tay has been providing luxury bedding to royal families, first-class hotels, and just plain linen lovers since 1860.
The sensation is fantastic. You feel absolutely relaxed and well with the world.
We consider our customers sophisticated not because are better than the other, but because the customer like to buy something for his life and are not for other person, it's only for you.
Nestled in the heart of Milan, the first Fret-tay store still operates today, and through the years, it's had an impressive list of customers, even the Vatican.
We did the table for the Pope, for the hospitality, all the most important hotel.
Here at Fret-tay's design studio in Monza, Italy, production starts the same way they've been doing it since day one, with a hand drawing.
We are playing and working with all the different patterns, with yarn, with shading, with light. So this is a lot of love and technical.
Fret-tay, like a house of fashion, comes out with a new collection every 6 months, keeping the production team on its toes.
Every 6 months we start from zero. Our creative part don't want to repeat anything about the past, because it's old.
Once the design is approved, it's transferred to a computer which controls the looms, and then a small sample is made. If all goes well, it's on to production, starting with the finest Egyptian cotton.
We use Egyptian cotton because it's the more clean, more nice, more resistant, more shining fiber.
Most of the cotton arrives in its natural state, light beige. Each cone holds about 10 kilometers of yarn. The cones are loaded onto these racks and fed to a machine called a beam. Here they prepare what's called the warp. Warp threads travel the length of the fabric, while the threads called weft go side to side. A crisscrossing of the two creates the fabric. And that's where thread count comes into play. It's a measure of the amount of yarn used per square inch of fabric.
Frette prefer to stay in a range between 400 600 head count because is the better hand feel and so on. Over is a little too much.
The Jacquard Loom is what's made Fret-tay famous. Here, patterns are woven right into the fabric using yarn that's already been dyed. Each warp thread is individually controlled by one of these hooks, making this loom much slower than a standard one.
One loom need 1 hour in order to make one sheet. Okay, this one is the speed of the loom.
The fabric coming off the regular looms is still in a raw state. It now needs to be finished. First, it gets joined in enormous bolts of up to 5 kilometers each. Keeping the tension consistent is important, so the fabric will stay on these bolts through the entire finishing process. Now both sides of the fabric are singed to remove any excess fiber, enhancing the weave and creating a nicer hand feel. The fabric moves so quickly over the flames, there's no chance of burning it. Once the sheets are smooth, they're bleached. The fabric is first washed with soap, then mixed with peroxide and sodium hydroxide, rinsed and dried.
After this is completely white. Now there is dyeing process, where you put the color.
Achieving precisely the right colors involves many lab tests. The Fret-tay palette is extensive, to say the least.
We have more than 50 different beige. Because one year is cream, another year is milk, another year is ice cream, and so on.
The fabric then enters a chemical process invented by Fret-tay called Mercer Izing, which improves the feel, brightness of the colors, and adds strength. Mercer Izing is tricky, like getting a recipe just right.
Exactly like cooking. You need to have the ingredient, and it's important, because if you use good pasta, the final result is better, okay? It's the same.
The finished fabric goes through one final inspection, passing before this woman's sharp eyes before it's measured out. Then the pieces arrive in the sewing department, where expert hands guide the process.
All is manual. All these operations are made by hand. If you move too quickly or too slow, the all are not in the same distance. It's not the machine, it's you that move the fabric.
Now the sheet sets are ready for a final pressing and folding before getting packed, ready to provide the ultimate experience in first-class cocooning.